You're such an asshole.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood over at Cappy Land, and because the motorcycle isn't ready yet, that means I don't have my long-ass 8-mile run to go fetch the bike. So I'm going to do indoor work, although I should just get the fuck outside and smoke a cigar. AssholeConsulting.com. Go there if you got questions and money. And I, the world's only professional asshole, will help you out. Hi, Aaron. I hope you're well. Really. Background, 27-year-old male. I work in insurance. Money is poor, and it doesn't fit my skill set, which is analytical as opposed to customer relations. I would like a career in accounting or some sort of wealth management financial advisor position. I have completed 2 years of a 3-year economics degree at a good university. Left as I felt I didn't have the desire to get a grade I would be satisfied with. All right, so you're lazy. Just say you're lazy. For all my clients who are out there, yeah, man, I just didn't feel. I understand it's boring, but then admit you're also too lazy. I was lazy. I was a lazy fuck in high school. I had like a 1.8 GPA, and I was like, fuck, I better like do something. And I stopped being lazy. I managed to like nurse my GPA up to like a 3.2. Then I got to college and I tried. Just say I'm a lazy fuck. And then don't ask me what to do about I'm a lazy fuck. What's the solution there, asshole consulting? It's stop being a lazy fuck. That's the solution. How do I stop getting pregnant? Stop spreading your legs for cock. Wait. How do I stop getting STDs? Stop sticking your dick in crazy. I don't... What do you... Just, do you think there's a vaccine? Oh, I'm no longer lazy. Life no longer sucks. I don't have to try hard. Will cost me around 3,500 pounds to complete sales. $4,500. IQ 131. So you have the ability, you choose not to. Just got the results back from a test which I took on your advice to other customers. Mensa entry criteria is 132, so I was pleasantly surprised. I have 30,000 pounds invested in mutual funds and 3,000 pounds in peer-to-peer lending, property lending. I have a property worth about 160,000 pounds, which I plan to sell in the next 12 months. To downsize to a $100,000 property, leaving $60,000 for investment. Will also look to rent out in the new property as I want a return for my property as well as providing a roof over my head. Okay, so it sounds like a duplex or a triplex. No debt. Well, you have no debt? You have no debt on that property? That's awesome. Wait, how do you... I have a property worth... Okay, all right, yeah, you do have no debt on the property. That's great. What the fuck are you going to college for if you already own a full fucking property? Would love to relocate in the future, preferably America, but would sell for Canada or even East Asia. Questions? He's got 3, and don't worry, I charged him. What should my next move be in terms of career? As I mentioned, I want to go in accounting or some other form of financial advising where I think my skill set is of best use and my interest is the greatest. What's the best way of doing this? Should I take accounting courses after work? The first level of courses will cost around 900 pounds. Or should I go back to university and finish my final year again after work? I'm not sure if this is feasible, as wanted your consultation before speaking to university. If I do the accountancy course, how do I then build up work experience accounts for a charity part-time? What are the career prospects of financial advisors like, and what is the best path into this career? As mentioned, I would like to relocate, so which avenue do you think I would be best opportunity for me to do this in the long term? Become an accountant. All right, economics is not going to get you any kind of job. All right, and here's the other thing: if you want to go into, and the reason I'm telling you to become an accountant is because sales financial advising does not require any skill whatsoever, none. It is a sales job. That's what you will be doing. You will be calling people and harassing them and bothering them for them to give you their money for you to invest, and then you will get a commission. That is 99% of all finance jobs. This shit like Wall Street shows on the television and you're an analyst and all that other stuff. As you're finding out, you think, oh, I'm an insurance analyst. You're not analyzing shit. You're either a data entryman or you're a salesman. That's finance. All right? If you're lucky, you get into banking and you could be an analyst, like an actual analyst of some time. And even then, they throw out all your analysis and say, well, I know this guy. I need a commission. They're going to approve it anyway. Because that's banking. All right? So what you're going to find out, because you talk way too much. That's why I had to charge you extra, because you didn't get to the fucking point. You're a spaz. And you're going to go do what you want to do anyway. And so I'm telling you now what to get, so that when you find out what you do anyway isn't going to work, you're not left there up shit creek with a worthless fucking degree in economics. You have a degree in accounting, which allows you to do accounting. Then you could become an accountant. And yeah, you could go work for a charity. You could do part-time work or become a bookkeeper somewhere. But you're going to want to become an accountant, preferably get a CPA, or the UK equivalent. And then that will allow you to find a job in other places where you ideally would like to live. So career-wise, I would not go back for your degree in economics. I would get your degree in accounting. I would then look for getting a CPA, your further certification. And ironically, that will help you get a job in analysis, because CPAs end up becoming the actual analysts, the actual CFOs. They're the ones that actually do the work that most finance majors and econ majors wish they could. But since no one wants finance major, economic major skills, of which there are none, they just go and hire the accountants. So go and become an accountant. And you could go ahead and try and become a salesman if you want. How do you get into it? Yeah, you knock on the door, say, hey, I'd like to work for Suck Your Dick Finance. And then they'll say, oh, well, welcome. Here's some certification tests you got to pass. Here you got, in the United States, it's your Series 6, Series 7s and all that. And in the UK, I'm sure there's some kind of test you have to take. So it's like, don't steal people's money. And that's, Lloyd's of London. And you can go work at the finance district, and you get to work downtown where all the excitement is. And they'll fuck you over, and you're just going to become a salesman. And you're going to, hello, would you like to give me your money? No, but I have a fancy suit, and I work downtown where all the action is. And that's what you can expect. And you say, wow, this fucking sucks, and I'm not making any money. And then you'll go become an accountant. So that's what you do there for your career. Two, do you think the best way to invest the equity released from my property is into a mutual fund portfolio? I cannot provide financial advice. Now here, I need to, this is going to help you out in the future. Do you realize how stupid of a question that is? Oh, your mutual fund portfolio. Oh, did you tell me what your mutual fund portfolio is? Do I know what you're investing in? Do you even tell me what subcategory? Is it small cap, large cap? And do you think I'm going to analyze all the individual stocks that compile your mutual fund portfolio? How the fuck am I supposed to know? Right? So, one, the stupidity of that question. But two, I can't legally advise you, and I'm not comfortable, and I refuse to advise people on what to do with their money. The only thing I will advise people to do with their money is to pay off their debts, because there is no risk involved in that. I can also say, what would I do? But it's basically the same thing as pay off your debts. Now, you have an interesting situation. You don't have any debts. And you say, what would you do if you got this money released from your mutual fund portfolio? I don't know. You're going to have to figure that out on your own. All right? If you like your rate of returns that you're getting on your mutual fund, go ahead. But realize you can lose that money. The second after you invest it, the stock market collapses and you lose 50%. All right? There's other options. You could perhaps buy another property. I mean, if you don't have that much debt, that's an option for you. You can go ahead and put that as a down payment on another rental property. But the problem is, if you got two rental properties in the United Kingdom, and you don't want to live in the United Kingdom, I would be thinking maybe, before you sell your house and then maybe move out to Canada. But the problem there is you got to explore Canada. So what I would do with your money is I would use it to travel around a little bit and do some research and do some reconnaissance and find out, do you really want to live in East Asia? Have you been there? All right, go to Canada. Do some research. Go to Calgary, go to Toronto, go to Ottawa. Check out the different places. Go hang out with the trailer park trash in Newfoundland. Go hang out with the Roughnecks in Calgary. Go hang out with the potheads over in British Columbia and Vancouver. Say, oh my, look, oh, it's pretty. Hey, it's just like Seattle, except a little bit colder. And everyone's a douche. Check, that's what I would do. Because right now you say, I have all these ideas. You have not investigated these ideas. And it's going to cost you money to investigate those ideas. So I think it would be worth your money and you're not going to spend 60,000 pounds on traveling to Canada and Asia. But I would earmark some of that money to go and do some research to find out what your next step should be. But otherwise, with the remainder of it, I can't tell you what to do with it because no one's paid me enough to go fully analyze the stock, and we're talking tens of thousands of dollars because it would take me like a month to fully analyze all the different asset classes out there. And I already kind of know that most of the asset classes out there are all overpriced because your dividend yields and your interest rates are so, because there's trillions of dollars of central bank money and retirement dollars that have driven prices up. There's just not that good rate of return. So I don't know about your mutual fund portfolio. I don't have any entrepreneurial ideas, and I'd like to put my money to work, so the only other avenue would be property, but I don't really want to buy a property or rental purposes due to the cost and time versus the potential reward. My long-term goal is to get my entire portfolio, property, funds, and peer-to-peer lending to 500,000 pounds, where I can hopefully get a yield of 4%, i.e. the fuck you position as 20,000 pounds would be enough for me to cover expenses and therefore walk away from any uncomfortable situation. That's not including capital growth, which will hopefully be a couple of points above that. So what should I do with the cash when I downsize? Can't tell you, kid. I cannot tell you. Nobody can. Here's the other. Let's explain this. Nobody can tell you what to do. Right? If you come up with an entrepreneurial idea, that's good, because if it's good, meaning profitable, you're going to find higher rates of returns on a private investment than you will for us it's the S&P 500, for you it's the FTSE 100. The dividend yields are just going to be your paltry 2.5%. But you're going to have to find that out for yourself, pal. You're going to have to research your properties, find if there's a property that cash flows. You're going to have to do and if you have an individual investment you'd like me to analyze, I can analyze it and provide a report, but it's going to cost fuck all in money. So I can tell you the lay of the land is there's so much money flooding all asset categories that there's very few or increasingly few investments that are worthwhile, right? So you got to go out and do your homework. Now, you're thinking along the right lines. Property, peer-to-peer, that's probably a good one. That's not bad at all, because I don't think a lot of money has flooded that. I know Matt Tran over at Engineered Truth, he was saying he was getting like 6 to 7%, which is spectacular. But you're going to have to do your own research. I'm not going to be legally responsible for you doing that. So those are your options. But you got it right here. Portfolio, property, funds, and peer-to-peer lending. Now, to get to 500,000 pounds, boy, you're going to need some really good capital gains. And you're going to have to hope those capital gains stick. Because you got 160,000. That's not bad, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. Again, your spaz, I can sense the spaz. You think this is going to happen tomorrow. It's not. It's going to take a decade at least. Oh, okay, I can't even claim that because I don't know what's going to happen. The Bank of England could jack up its printing presses and all of a sudden, hey, look, everything's great. The stock market went up 10,000% in a week. There's no inflation. But, it takes time. With exponential growth, for this 4%, $500,000 kind of thing to work, it takes a decade. It takes time for that to grow. All right, let's go to the next thing. Of course, the computer shuts down. All right. So what should I do with the cash when I downsize? At least save some of it as dry powder. That's another thing you can do. Does any of the above sound stupid? For instance, am I crazy for investing heavily in mutual funds, index funds, and so on? Or anything else that seems ridiculous? No, actually, for a young man, you're actually doing quite good. I think your expectations are delusional. Or not, I can't even say delusional. They're very high. They're very high. And I guarantee you, what are you, 27? You're 27. So when you've had this money, you've only seen a bull market. Because after the financial crisis, asset prices tanked all over the place. And I'm imagining the FTSE. Well, let's look up the FTSE. What the fuck? Because here in the U.S., the S&P 500 has tripled. And so you think, you got to go out forever. No, you have lucky timing, kid. That's what it is. FTSE 100. Let's take a look at what's happened to the FTSE since 2007, 2008. Let's go max. Okay. That's 1984. Okay, there's the dot-com crash. Okay, so 2009 was its bottom, 3,500. And now it's 7,002. Yeah, that's more than doubled in... That's more than doubled in 8 years. Don't get used to that shit, kids. Don't get used to that shit. So it's... You have been led to think, wow, because you're doing really good. At 27, you have a property already paid off. You're sitting on cash. You got a mutual fund, and it's great, dude. It's great. But, dude, don't think it was anything. A little bit was your foresight and wisdom to invest. A lot of it had to do with that. But the other half of the formula is asset prices have been going way the fuck faster than inflation. Unnaturally so. And there are valuation concerns, like, will this keep up? Are they going to keep printing off more money, and are we just going to keep flooding the stock market with it and all jerking off to it in a circle jerk, thinking we're a fucking great country because our stock market and stock prices keep going up? So I think it's not bad, but what I might want to do is, okay, look, you've had a great run, you're in a great position. And I asked you about, well, why are you selling your property to get a crappier one to free up money? Why would you do that? You say, well, because it's in a nice neighborhood now, but I want to go to a lesser neighborhood so I can rent it out more. All right, I'm going to leave you to do the analysis on that. All right? If you think the rental rates, you've done the research, and you think, okay, so you can live cheaper, and you can rent it out, and you can generate more cash flow. Okay, maybe a wise investment. You got to go and crunch the numbers on that one, or pay me to look at that specific property, which might be worth some money. But, what was I going to say? Oh, that's what I was going to say. Now might be a time to take a breather, and before you keep go, you calm the spaz down, and then you start doing more research, like going over to Canada and East Asia and Japan and Korea, wherever the fuck you want to go. I think now would be the time to spend a little bit of money and research, because you're up to the point where it's dark in front of you. You can't see in front because you haven't spent any time going out and researching. So you have these ideas, you have these plans. Okay, you've had a nice capital gain. You have no debt, so it doesn't matter if the stock price goes up or down, your property prices go up or down, so whether the rents keep coming in, which it sounds like it does. Your peer-to-peer lending seems to be doing well. And I know you want that $500 million, but for now, chill the fuck out. And why don't you do some research so that you then know what your next step in plan your life is? It's almost not even a financial question. It's more of a life living question. All right, you want to go to Canada? Have you been to Canada? Have you been there in January? If not, I suggest you fucking go, because you may say, oh, I found this great place in Canada, and it's in Edmonton, and I don't know why they're selling it so cheap. And then you find out it's because oil prices have tanked, you don't know anything about Fort McMurray, and it's fucking cold in the fuck up there. So that's what I think your next step should be with this money. All right, you're gonna lose some money. You're gonna spend some money. You're not gonna make any money, but you're gonna gather knowledge to put together a strategic plan for the next decision in your life. That's going to be probably pretty big and important one, and that is moving out of the country. But I can tell you for sure as fuck though, you'll want to get a degree in accounting. That is certainly for sure as fuck. So if you got some vacation time, take it, start traveling, start exploring around a little bit. Don't quit your job, obviously, keep that going on. But start making some forays and expeditions into China, into Japan, into Canada, and figure out if that's really where you want to go. Because I can tell you, you think there's these places you like, and then you get there, and it's like, nah, this is not what it's like on the internet. It is not like, take a look at Wyoming. I always use that as an example. The only pictures you'll see of Wyoming are the pristine mountains and Yellowstone and the the Grand Tetons too, the Bighorn Mountains. They don't show you the remaining 80% of the country, the state, which is flat, boring tundra, and you see buffalo in the distance, the huge, massive buffalo. You're like, and you gotta think, like, is that photoshopped? It's like, no, that's just a Wyoming woman. They're just, you think it's like a Star Wars creature way up there. I'm like, oh my god. Womp rats aren't more than 3 meters. So, anyway, that's all we got. If you guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. The old captain will take care of you for a fee. For money. We'll see you. Toodles.